On April 9, 2015, in Boise, Idaho, what began as a simple traffic stop spiraled into a full-blown catastrophe. Around the intersection of Shinden Boulevard and Veterans Memorial Parkway, a Boise police officer pulled over a pickup truck. The driver, 33-year-old Jose Manuel Sanchez, appeared to cooperate at first, slowing to a stop like anyone else would. However, in a split-second turn of aggression, Sanchez threw the truck into reverse and floored it, slamming straight into the officer's cruiser. The impact crushed the patrol car's front end and pinned the officer's leg in the open door. With the officer injured and calling for backup, Sanchez peeled away from the scene. What followed was a high-speed, high-risk pursuit through the heart of Boise, with city streets blurring as the suspect pushed his pickup truck to its limit. Officers from both the Boise Police Department and the Idaho State Police joined in as sirens lit up the roads. Sanchez wasn't just fleeing, he was charging through traffic, weaving in and out with zero regard for safety. He headed toward Interstate 84, crossing county lines with law enforcement close behind. This wasn't a chase anymore, it was a citywide threat in motion. Near milepost 84 in Elmore County, the situation went from bad to worse. Dashcam footage shows Sanchez's truck drifting toward the center median, tires kicking up dust as the vehicle veered dangerously close to oncoming traffic. At the last second, he tried to correct, jerking the wheel toward the right shoulder. But it was already too late. The pickup flipped and was launched into the air, rolling violently across the highway in a chaos of steel, glass, and flying debris. One of the tires was ripped clean off mid-roll. So was Sanchez, who hadn't been wearing a seatbelt. Most people wouldn't survive that kind of crash. But somehow, impossibly, Sanchez got up. Bloodied, dazed, and visibly disoriented, he stumbled to his feet, then took off on foot, right across the highway. Idaho State Trooper Kenny Walker chased him down, sprinting across the median as traffic rushed by on both sides. Sanchez was placed under arrest, ending one of the most chaotic police pursuits in recent Idaho history. Case number 2. On August 30th, 2021 in Florida, what started like any other traffic stop ended in a shockingly horrific way. A sheriff's deputy from Brevard County pulled over a vehicle in West Melbourne, Florida. Inside the vehicle were 3 adults and a 2-month-old baby. Nothing unusual, nothing out of the ordinary. Just a routine stop, until it wasn't. As the deputies approached the car, their body cams recorded what seemed like casual small talk. 2 of the occupants were already outside the car, as the deputies asked questions, assessed the situation, and even made jokes and laughed with the passenger in the vehicle.
What's that? In the car? All right, partner. He wants to talk to you out here. Is that all you're? Yeah. I'll watch it for you. He's all right. I got babies. Oh, you got a dog too? Hell. I'll make sure they're all right. I got babies too, man.
Things took a horrifying turn when the deputies asked the third passenger to step out of the vehicle. Just as he was asked to exit the vehicle, a man suddenly leapt out of the back seat. In one hand, he had a loaded rifle, and without hesitation, he opened fire at point-blank range. Bullets tore through the air as the deputies scrambled for cover, desperately trying to return fire. One of them was hit in the leg almost immediately.
Huh? Okay. Shit! Hey! Shit!
You'll think the worst of it was over, but the gunman had other plans. As the officers ducked behind their patrol SUV, blinded by chaos and adrenaline, they lost sight of the gunman. He circled around the back of the vehicle, flanking them. When his rifle jammed, he didn't retreat. He rushed forward and began savagely beating one of the deputies with the butt of the rifle, striking him repeatedly in the head. But the second deputy wasn't giving up. With a swift reload and no time to hesitate, he spun around and opened fire, emptying his clip at close range. The suspect was struck multiple times and collapsed on the spot. The entire shootout lasted less than 60 seconds. In that time, more than 61 rounds were fired. A deputy was wounded, a life was lost, and a child who was just 2 months old was caught in the crossfire of one of the most dangerous situations law enforcement can face.
1446, Red, 51 is anything.
The attacker was pronounced dead at the scene. He was later identified as 38-year-old Paris Wilder, a known violent offender from Cocoa, Florida. Wilder wasn't some unknown figure to police. He was what the department called a career criminal. His record was staggering. Over 40 arrests for crimes ranging from armed robbery and aggravated assault to drug trafficking, battery of a law enforcement officer, and even attempted first-degree felony murder. At the time of the shooting, Wilder was already out on bond for 2 felony drug charges, and he had 2 active felony warrants hanging over him. Despite all that, he was on the streets, armed, dangerous, and clearly ready for violence. Case number 3. On June 15, 2024 in Moxie, Washington, what was supposed to be just another quiet Saturday morning in Yakima County turned into anything but. The roads were nearly empty. The sun had barely finished rising. It was just another sleepy start to the weekend for the local farms and families nestled along the county backroads. That calm would be shattered in just a matter of seconds, because what began as a minor traffic violation would erupt into one of the wildest, most dangerous police chases the county had seen in years. It all started on Boudry Road, where 49-year-old Michael Roll blew through a stop sign. At that exact moment, another driver was cruising along nearby Beauchene Road, and within seconds, metal collided with metal as Roll slammed his vehicle into theirs. From the outside, it looked like a standard fender bender, the kind where both drivers exchange insurance, maybe argue over fault, and move on with their day. But things were about to take a drastic change.
Right on the first 93 corner. 721 repeat to 934. It was crashed out first corner on.
The victim stepped out of their car, trying to do the responsible thing. They pulled out their phone to document the crash, taking photos, recording the damage, and trying to grab a shot of Roll's license plate. That's when things took a sharp and terrifying turn, as Roll snapped. According to court records, he launched into a stream of racially charged slurs, words so aggressive and hateful, they turned an accident into a full-blown threat. But he didn't stop at verbal abuse. Out of nowhere, he grabbed a jagged piece of metal molding from his vehicle and began swinging it like a weapon. This wasn't anger anymore. This was a man in full attack mode, flailing violently in broad daylight, surrounded by stunned witnesses and a recording phone. Before officers could even arrive on scene, Roll made his move. He jumped back into his car and fled. By the time deputies from the Yakima County Sheriff's Office pulled up, the suspect was already disappearing into the horizon, tires screeching across hot asphalt. Deputies gave chase immediately, sirens piercing the rural silence as they tore down winding country highways. Roll's vehicle hit speeds of nearly 100 miles per hour, weaving through narrow 2-lane roads lined with farmland, fences, and the occasional mailbox. Dashcam footage showed just how dangerous it really was. Roll's car swerved left and right, crossing into oncoming lanes without warning, narrowly dodging other drivers who had no idea what was coming. Officers stayed tight on his tail, but the terrain made things unpredictable. They couldn't set up spike strips. They couldn't box him in. They could only follow and hope he didn't kill himself or someone else before they got the chance to stop him. 2.5 minutes. That's how long it took for everything to come to a head. Near the 4,300 block of Thorpe Road, the inevitable happened. Roll lost control. Witnesses described it like a slow-motion explosion. His vehicle careened off the road, flipped violently in midair, and tore straight through a nearby fence. A cloud of dust and shattered wood erupted skyward as the twisted car finally slammed to a stop. When deputies reached the crash site, it looked like a war zone. The vehicle's roof was completely crumpled. The yard it landed in was littered with debris, metal shards, broken glass, pieces of fence, and parts of the car itself. It was a miracle no one was killed. When the dust settled, Roll was alive, but barely coherent. The chaos he unleashed had finally caught up with him. Deputies took him into custody at the scene, and that's when the full extent of his recklessness became clear. Michael Roll's license had already been suspended. He wasn't even supposed to be driving. And now, on top of that, he was facing a long list of criminal charges. What should have been a simple exchange of information had devolved into a near-fatal encounter with police, ending in a crash that could have taken multiple lives. If you want more intense breakdowns of real-life police encounters, be sure to hit that subscribe button. New episodes drop every week, covering wild chases, insane standoffs, and unbelievable takedowns, all caught on camera.